think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter.
The comparison, listen, Crawford Mayweather would have been an amazing fight in their prime. Just like you insert Ray Leonard in there, just like you insert Ray Robinson in there. What a round robin that would have been.
You try. You catch him, he want to catch you back. You know what I mean? You fight Bud, he's not. Bud's not running from nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I felt that I had the upper hand in our competition.
Canelo responded to Terence Crawford accepting a potential fight offer involving Floyd Mayweather by warning that Crawford would likely finish him in a real fight, saying Crawford is the better fighter at this stage and deserves full credit for what he has accomplished. He described Crawford as amazing, praising his skill, timing, and overall mastery in the ring. Canelo added that Crawford has proven himself across multiple weight classes and that fans and analysts alike should acknowledge his greatness, emphasizing that he has earned widespread respect throughout the sport.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He know how to move and
Garrett Hackett weighed in on Canelo's comments about Terence Crawford by pointing out the key difference between Canelo's loss to Floyd Mayweather and the current discussions around Crawford. He explained that when Canelo faced Mayweather at just 23 years old, he was still an unfinished fighter, lacking the polish, experience, and refinement he has today. According to Hackett, that version of Canelo was still learning the sport, whereas the comparisons involving Crawford are being made at a time when Canelo is seen as a complete fighter and the face of boxing. In his view, that context matters, because peak Canelo is very different from the younger, less developed fighter who lost to Mayweather.
Heard that. What I think is, when Floyd beat me, I was 23, I wasn't polished. When Bud beat me, I was the man. I was the man. And he beat me fair and square. He beat me at my game and he beat me at his game. That's why Canelo said that. Do I believe that? It's tough to believe. We're not going to ever see Bud versus Floyd. And it's crazy. It's crazy because I would love to see that fight, but I know we're not going to see it. But I can only take Canelo's word because he's the man that's been in the ring with both of them. But I understand why he said it. I was a kid when I fought Floyd. He wasn't a kid literally, but he was young. He was young. There was a lot he didn't know. There was a lot he didn't understand about boxing that he later on learned and got better. But Bud beat the better version of me, even though it's the ran down version. I'm saying that because it is some wear and tear there with Canelo. I've been saying it the whole time. When a guy got almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he's been doing and all that, trust me, it's some wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying. I do give Bud his credit though for beating Canelo, and Canelo understands I am a better fighter today than I was back then. But that's hard to say because Floyd, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Bud took maybe 20% of what Floyd did and added that to his repertoire for this fight. So that's why I'm saying it's tough to say that.
Joe Rogan reacted with complete amazement to Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez, emphasizing how extraordinary it was for Crawford to move up 2 full weight classes at the age of 37, something almost unheard of in boxing history. Rogan pointed out that no fighter at that stage of their career has stepped up to challenge, let alone defeat, an opponent of Canelo's caliber. He described the accomplishment as truly historic, saying it went far beyond a simple win and stood as a defining moment that showcased Terence Crawford's greatness and solidified his status as one of the most exceptional athletes the sport has ever seen.
And you're watching, like, wow, towards the end, towards the final rounds, it really started getting comfortable and really started putting it on him. I'm like, this is amazing.
You know, one of those rare, like, that's history, obviously, right? Watching somebody do. You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to fight at that weight for the first time ever.
Against one of the greatest
greatest of all time, fucking, and do what you did. It is beyond, like, my favorite, an outlier. You're beyond an outlier. You're an anomaly.
Yeah, something special. And
something really
30,
special.
I believe he's 37.
Yeah, one of those where you shouldn't be able to do that by any account. By any account, 37, my body was so wrecked. I'm like, fuck you. You know, I can barely go bowling.
Paulie Malignaggi weighed in on the debate over whether Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford should be considered the greater fighter, saying discussions like this will never truly have an end because each belongs to a different era with its own challenges and circumstances. He explained that while these comparisons are fascinating for fans and analysts, they are ultimately endless since both fighters have compelling cases for greatness. Malignaggi acknowledged Mayweather's flawless record and legendary career while also crediting Crawford for conquering multiple divisions and beating elite competition, adding that for him, the conversation itself is what keeps boxing exciting, even without a clear-cut answer.
154 pounders and it was in a young Canelo and a very tough Cotto who was punching very hard from 4 to 54. You know, remember Cotto had knocked out Delvin Rodriguez at 54. He'd still done some damage at 54, and I thought
won a title at 60.
Yeah, and I thought he knocked out Martinez at 60, and I thought he gave Mayweather a pretty good fight at 54. I don't know. I can't say I disagree or agree. I just think that Mayweather, because it's so far away, so long ago, you know, and people sort of start to underestimate the things he did. You know, people talk about Canelo takes his repertoire from the Mayweather repertoire. No, he doesn't. Mayweather fought ex-champions. This guy's fighting guys who will never even smell, may never smell a belt in their life, and he was fighting them. So. You know, Mayweather, even if you're saying, he didn't fight the very best, he still fought champions and ex-champions, even at 47, even at 50.
Timothy Bradley offered a bold take by suggesting that Terence Crawford has the tools to defeat Floyd Mayweather as well. He explained that Crawford possesses the ideal mix of intelligence, adaptability, power, and technique to deal with Mayweather's defensive brilliance. According to Bradley, Crawford's ability to adjust during a fight and his sharp timing would make him a nightmare for Floyd, even at his peak. Bradley's comments reflected his deep admiration for Crawford's skill set and his belief that the Omaha fighter belongs in discussions with the greatest boxers of all time, adding that Crawford isn't just good, but has everything needed to surpass even the most untouchable legends.
The GOAT, oh absolutely, but Terence Crawford will whoop his ass. He would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you right now, he will beat Floyd Mayweather too. He will beat him too. He got everything it takes to beat Floyd. Floyd struggled in the first half against Zab Judah. Zab Judah, a damn terrific fighter. Terrific fighter, but he ain't no damn Terence Crawford. Especially from the southpaw position. Floyd didn't like fighting southpaws. Floyd reached with that right hand. You think he's gonna reach against one of the best back foot counterpunchers in the game? He gonna reach with that right hand against Crawford? He gonna get slept reaching with that backhand, the way he reaches with that. That level change backhand he throws too, man, that pull jab he does too, that ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. Floyd got a 72-inch reach. Yeah, he had quickness, fast reflexes. However, Crawford got all of that too. He got all of that too, and he got a 75-inch reach. Great counterpuncher. Can concentrate all night. Can put pressure on Floyd. He can even invite Floyd in. Yep, I noticed. Floyd's not having success. He started to step on the gas. That's what he do. And he gonna run into problems with Crawford because Crawford hits harder than him.
Some voices within the boxing world believe that for Terence Crawford to truly surpass Floyd Mayweather's legacy, he would need to take on an enormous challenge against Dimitri Bivol. Known for his size, skill, and dominance at light heavyweight, Bivol represents a test that could elevate Crawford's legacy even further. Supporters of this view argue that a win over Bivol would place Crawford above Mayweather by proving he could defeat a prime, naturally bigger, and technically elite opponent. In their eyes, such a victory would remove any remaining doubt and cement Terence Crawford as a truly historic figure by accomplishing something even Mayweather never did.
Bud next, since Bud's so strong. That's what I said. Why are you talking about 54? None of them dudes gonna get you up. If you truly beat Canelo, why not be the greatest fighter in the existence of boxing? Like, Bivol was the only dude to beat 2 undisputed active champions. Like, he beat Canelo as an undisputed champion, and he beat Better Beef as an undisputed champion. Bivol, historically, might go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. If you beat Bivol and you beat Canelo, I mean, Crawford might have surpassed TBE in Floyd. Floyd has never beaten someone as accomplished as Bivol. And forget about accomplishments like perceived threat. Who's Bivol on Floyd's resume?
Reports suggest that Terence Crawford is targeting another historic achievement by aiming to become a 6-division world champion, a milestone reached by only a select few fighters in boxing history. Already admired for dominating multiple weight classes and defeating elite opponents, Crawford's ambition to move even higher highlights his relentless drive to test himself at every level. The possibility of Crawford competing at middleweight has sparked excitement throughout the boxing world, as it would place him in the 160-pound division against naturally bigger and stronger fighters.
And Terence Crawford and his team stated that if he does stay in the sport of boxing and he does move down, he's not going to drop down below 160. And so it's being reported that Terence Crawford wants to become a 6-division champion. And a guy that he had his sights set on is now calling him out aggressively and daring him to come down and fight him. And that's Janibek, who is seen to be the best 160-pounder in the world. And he's the unified IBF and WBO 160 middleweight world champion. The middleweight division, 160, is a glamour division. There's the top 3 glamour divisions in the sport of boxing is welterweight, 147. Terence Crawford knocked out every opponent he faced at welterweight and became undisputed there.
Adding even more intrigue, Janibek Alimkhanuly has issued a direct challenge to Terence Crawford, daring him not to shy away and to face him at middleweight. Alimkhanuly, an undefeated champion with a rapidly growing reputation, views this as a chance to secure a career-defining fight against one of the greatest boxers of this era. For Crawford, accepting such a challenge would be about more than legacy. It would be another opportunity to prove his dominance in yet another weight class. Whether the matchup happens or not, the mere possibility has ignited debate among fans and analysts and has made Crawford's future one of the most closely watched storylines in boxing.
At welterweight and became undisputed there. The next glamour division is middleweight, 160, that Marvin Hagler, made famous, many middleweights, Sugar Ray Robinson. It's a glamour division, right? Sugar Ray Leonard moved up there, Tommy Hearns, that's a glamour division. And obviously, the division that carries the sport of boxing when it's on top is the heavyweight division. Then you can make a case for the lightweight division, so on and so forth, right? I would say the lightweight division is number 4. So Terence Crawford became a champion at lightweight, right? So with that said, you have Janibek, who's seen as the best fighter there. He's the IBF WBO champion.
An analyst looked back on the story of Miguel "Silk Smooth" Gonzalez, the last man to beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs, and said that defeating Crawford today would demand an extreme level of preparation and elite skill, similar to what fighters needed when facing Floyd Mayweather in his prime. He explained that Crawford has evolved into one of the most dangerous fighters in boxing, combining sharp defense with precise, controlled offense. Much like Mayweather once did, Crawford now carries an aura of invincibility that frustrates opponents, as his ability to adjust, avoid damage, and strike accurately forces fighters to train relentlessly just to give themselves a realistic chance against him.
Terence Crawford, what did you do to actually get a win over him?
I agree with Augie. With what he said about Floyd, I'm going to say about Crawford. You got to punch with Crawford. You got to counter Crawford and punch with Crawford. You got to bang the body with Crawford. You got to stay on top of Crawford. You know what I mean? Fight him in that phone booth if you can. As I remember, that's exactly what I did. Crawford, he switches and all that. I don't get that. I don't get out my hookup with all the switching he does. But what tripped me out was he got low in the ring. Like, he kind of cut his height down. I had a field day with that. He should have stayed tall. He cut his height down. And And, you know, I stayed in his chest, you know, and you gotta counter Crawford. You gotta fight Crawford. And what I always thought about Crawford was he's easily taken out his hookup. I thought, you know. Maybe he fought his fight.
I thought he
fought my fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he grew out of getting out of his hookup. I think
Because,
I think he learned how to just kind of adjust and do what needed to be done more so.
Break that down for us, guys. What do you guys mean the hookup? Break that down for us.
So yeah, you know what?
Getting caught up in a war?
I'll go ahead, Miguel. Like break down Bud getting caught out of his hookup.
Well, you know, with Bud, I thought, you know, but you can easily get Bud to fight you.
Back in the day. Yeah. And you know, Gamboa, you know, showed parts of that. You know, and Bud, all his fights, Bud fights you. Yeah.
Bud gets, you know what I mean? Every fight I see Bud fighting, even still to this day, but I totally understand what Sean's saying. For sure. Bud's the truth. But when I see Bud fighting, you catch him, he want to catch you back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You fighting Bud, Bud's not running from nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I felt that I had the upper hand in our competition.
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Terence Crawford's longtime trainer, shared his perspective on the victory over Canelo Alvarez, describing the fight as easy for Crawford and saying they were prepared for every possible scenario. Bomac also addressed criticism of Crawford's career decisions, noting that fans and analysts are constantly naming opponents they think he should face, and when Crawford chooses a different path, he's accused of avoiding challenges. He pushed back against that idea, explaining that Crawford is simply following his own direction rather than living up to outside expectations, and that his legacy should be defined by the success he continues to achieve in the ring, not by public pressure.
Absolutely, but they're probably thinking the way we were all thinking that just because of the weight he should be okay because he's the naturally bigger man. But someone like Crawford, obviously, who's done what he's done, you have to be on the top of your game. And I felt with Canelo, it was probably too many single shots that he was throwing, but he wasn't throwing the usual singles and backing it up because he was getting counted. And
he wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, it wasn't just that Canelo was bad is what I'm trying to get at. Crawford was absolutely sensational on the night and the deserved winner and one of the best.
Because the other side of the argument would be that they actually thought they might be getting Crawford at the right time because he hadn't fought for a while and had some particular surgery. I mean, did it go, as I said to you at the top of the show, Bomac, I mean, I watched you in the corner and I thought it was a exercise in how a corner should be conducted in terms of the communication, the coherency of it, and the discipline behind who spoke, when they spoke, what they said, and what needed to be heard. Did the fight go exactly as you had mapped out in your mind and what you thought would manifest itself? Is this your last fight? You know, which really annoyed me with Max Kellerman going in and making that the stop part of his questions. Do you think, Bomac, that he gets the recognition and the appreciation that his achievements merit?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Why do you think that is?
I think because of the simple fact that Terence is his own man. You know, he knows the path that he wants to go. And some of the boxing critics or some of the boxing people around boxing figure he should go this route or he should go that route. When he didn't go that route and he went this route, he's ducking the other middleweights. I mean, the other welterweights. So he's ducking the 140-pounder. No, he's not ducking them. He's just not available. Well, he should have went this way. I didn't want to go that way. I wanted to go this way because that's the way I wanted to go.
Tony Jeffries added to the discussion by reflecting on the unique qualities that made Floyd Mayweather untouchable in his era. He explained that Mayweather's brilliance wasn't just about defense, but also his footwork, timing, and ability to outmaneuver opponents. According to Jeffries, Floyd's movement was nearly flawless, allowing him to frustrate even the most elite fighters. He also reminded fans that Mayweather faced and defeated several legends throughout his career, further confirming his greatness. Jeffries' comments underscored that while Terence Crawford's achievements are extraordinary, Floyd Mayweather's career remains one of the most decorated and technically impressive in boxing history.
But if you study Floyd closely, like I have, you will notice that he never wastes any steps while he's in the ring. He will pivot just enough to take away the angle from the person in front of him, then he will reset in the center of the ring, and his movement and his footwork was just perfect. And it was his feet that made him control every single fight, putting him in the perfect position to defend punches. Then that small little sidestep either way put him into the position to be able to land punches back. And he would also use his front foot to apply pressure with them small little steps, waiting for that moment to land them punches. And if you train boxing, you should be constantly working on the specific footwork things that you need to work on, because you might agree with me, but without good feet, nothing else matters.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.